This week's news from the tubes on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Malwarebytes. Whether you use a PC, a Mac, or a mobile device, Malwarebytes Premium is the company's strongest protection ever. It fights threats that traditional antivirus software can't stop, plus it actively blocks threats like worms, rogues, dialers, trojans, spyware, and a whole lot more. It allows you to use your computer and mobile devices with confidence and peace of mind. To learn more and to get a special price, you can go to f5live.tv/malwarebytes. In the US, everybody is familiar with the nutrition facts. They show up on the side or the back of all of the food that you purchase. Gives you information about sodium and fat and protein, list of all the ingredients. Now, why are we talking about that? Well, the FCC has implemented what they're calling broadband facts. Visually and conceptually, it's entirely based around the concept of the nutrition facts on your food. In it, you'll be able to find all kinds of information about internet service packages so that you can make an informed decision by easily comparing Spectrum and Frontier side by side to see what features, speed, price, fees, other things that have privacy policy, contract period, restrictions, bandwidth caps, all the things that we have been talking about being challenges in the internet world for years are all put on here. And in the article, there's an image. I should have imported it into the show to show it off. It's legitimately based on the nutrition facts. Like, I'm looking, it says broadband facts, and then provider name, service plan name and or speed tier, fixed or mobile broadband consumer disclosure. So this is going to be for both landline and wireless providers. Your monthly price. This price is or is not an introductory rate. If it is, what it's going to be. This monthly price does or does not require a contract. Monthly fees, one-time fee, early termination fee, government taxes, discounts and bundles, speeds provided with plan, download, upload, latency, data included, charges for additional data, network management, privacy policy, direct customer support information, just an absolute ton of information provided in a required design so that you can legitimately look at two of them side by side like you would if you picked up two cans of soup and you could compare side to side. You can do the exact same thing here. It's a fascinating concept. It addresses, two companies having the same feature but calling it different things. We've talked about that with cars over the years. We've talked about that with ISPs. Here we have a nutrition label for the ISP. I find it fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, funny thing. So I'm besides getting a new monitor this week, and getting and having working until I'm ill. I am getting a new I'm getting a new broadband plan on Tuesday.
Okay.
It is completely coincidental to I didn't say, hey, I'm getting it so I can have more broadband for Black Friday. Like I'm not short of broadband to look up deals. It's fine. But the thing is, after many years, and I'm probably the last person I know to do this, my family and I are finally canceling cable TV. That's it. We're done. And so we moved. We were on FiOS and we stay on FiOS, but I called them and I got them to cancel. So I'm getting like internet only plan. Now, what's weird is, now if I had this, I would know whether or not this plan had too much cholesterol for me. But
Right.
um, what's weird is, and I'm actually curious whether they were putting one over on me. So, in order to get the new plan, I have to go up in speed, which is fine. That's good, because given that now I'm going to have, my wife and kids only watching streaming, we'll probably use a little more bandwidth than we do now, where TV comes over cable. But they told me that in order to get the new, like right now I have a plan that's supposed to be like 100 megabit, and that's not great, but it's been okay. And the new cheapest new plan I could get was 300 megabit.
Okay.
And they said, we have to send, even though I have Verizon and I'm staying on Verizon, they want to send someone to my house to upgrade it for $150. Now, they claimed that because the way it works with FiOS, and I know a lot of people around the country have FiOS, so they they've had the same, is that they don't have what's quote unquote a modem, but they sell you or rent you a router that has like their, I don't know what you would call it, modem built in. And so, but there's also like a control box in the basement. So they said the control box runs a coax cable up to my living room. And they said like, oh, if you're getting this new speed, you can't use the coax cable anymore. So we have to send someone over to your house to run an Ethernet cable from your basement to your living room. And we're going to charge you $150 for that.
Huh.
I don't know if I believe them. I don't know if what I mean is, I don't know if I believe that the coax cable could not support 300 megabits. And that, however they had set it up when I first moved into the house like 8 years ago, they use a coax cable to go from the basement to my living room. And now they say, oh, you can't still use that coax cable because you're getting higher speed internet, and therefore a coax cable can't handle 300 megabits a second. And so we have to send someone over to your house to run an Ethernet cable. Or you could do it yourself, but I'm not really handy at like running a cable from the basement through the routed around whatever to the through the ceiling. So okay, I guess I'll go do it, but it's just weird. I don't know if I buy it, that you can't, that we would need an Ethernet, that we couldn't just use the existing coax cable. But since I really can't prove it one way or the other until until they already turned it on.
Right.
I paid $150 and they're coming on Tuesday. But anyway,
it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
because I have 2 gigabit internet connections in here, and both of them are from cable companies. And so they run over coax to get to me, let alone, from outside into the box. It comes down to whatever they're doing for their,
I don't.
The FiOS is its own kind of special beast.
I don't know whether to believe them or not, but I didn't know if I didn't feel like I was in a position to argue about it. And if I could have said, they said like, if you want to run your own Ethernet cable through the ceiling, you can. And I was like, hey, I'd rather not do that. So
sure.
And I could have just said I'll do it and then not done it and then seen what happens with the coax cable. But then they might not come. Then if it didn't work, then I'd have to like get them to come, and then it wouldn't be
at a different
an installation rate. It would be some kind of support call or something. So
yeah, and the rate would almost certainly be different.
Yeah. So in other words, and who knows, that it would have been a lower priority or whatever. So paying $150 that I may not need to pay. But at the same time, my cable bill was $180 a month and is now going to be $50 a month. Uh, so that's yes.
Giant win.
Although yes and no. I mean, because it was $182 or something for TV and internet, slower internet, but now it's going to be $50 just for internet, and then my wife still wants like live TV, so we had to sign up for YouTube TV.
Got it.
That's ending up costing me $55 a month, so which is a special deal for T-Mobile customers, by the way. So it's like $105 a month versus, and they claim that I don't know, but they claim that there are no special fees on top of the $50 a month for Verizon. But if I had this broadband fax thing, I would know that for sure.
Right. Absolutely. And you'd be able to see very specifically how it's broken down. So not only is the FCC requiring this, but they're requiring it on all marketing. So I don't know exactly what that means. Like, are we going to see it in newspaper ads and in things that show up in the mail? Because there's a particular cable company around here that sends mail all the time. Like, sometimes I'll get 3 or 4 things from them a week. They really want me as a customer. Interestingly, I already am. They're not cross-referencing their customer database with their marketing database, but that's a whole other issue. Like, are we going to see it on mailers? Is it going to be on TV? I wasn't able to get to the bottom of exactly what it means. I also wasn't able to get a required launch date. I read the entire document from top to bottom. It is so unbelievably long and unbelievably boring because it's written in governmentese, which seems to be missing verbs. But what I did find out is that they're required to maintain these in perpetuity. So even if a plan is long gone, right? Your 100 megabit plan, long gone. They'd still... That one's not a good example because it predates the requirement. But in a couple of years, in a similar situation, you'd actually be able to pull the one for your current plan and your future plan. They're required to maintain them in perpetuity. Which is great. Thank goodness for that. Because otherwise all of this falls apart, right? All they have to do is change the plan plan name every 3 months, and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore, right? It suddenly becomes worthless. They're required to keep them in perpetuity.
Good.
Yeah. So, like I said, there is an example from the FCC. The actual FCC example is available on the website at PLUGHITZlive.com. You can see it. All the red text is the stuff that will be filled in by the provider. It is an absolute ton of information, just like the nutrition labels, and I cannot wait to start seeing these things out in the wild. It's going to help, because, you and I can look at the technical details and know what they mean, but even you and I don't know all the weird hidden fees and things, right? Like you just said, I have no way of knowing.
They don't tell you. It's like going to the doctor and they don't tell you until you get the bill. I mean, however, the guy on the phone claimed that it's a straight $50 and there's nothing on top of that. I will wait to see my first bill, but invariably it seems like it'll be a little bit cheaper than what I had been paying for TV and internet together, and it is 3 times the speed that I have, although I'll be using more bandwidth. But at the same time, let's say nobody else was home but me and I was working. I don't even know if I will notice 300 megabit for what I do, but 100 has been good. 100 has actually been okay.
I know where you might notice. You might notice in the stability of video upload. So this show, StreamYard, when you do the podcast, you might notice better stability on your up. Not necessarily better quality, but better stability. Because
Okay.
that was what I noticed when we changed the primary service, because we used to have just the one, and we added a second one for the studio, and the studio has bonded bandwidth like Verizon and Frontier have, and the stability of our video out changed dramatically on that change. So that's just a fun piece of information. You might notice that, but yeah. Otherwise, I mean, unless you're doing a lot of uploading videos to YouTube and stuff, which was the other place where I noticed a big change on the faster up. Other than that, I got nothing. So anyway, we'll definitely when these things start showing up in the wild. We'll definitely circle back around and do a comparison video. Take a couple of carriers and actually look at them side by side and see how the information stacks up. But for now, this is what we've got to look forward to. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.